This is Sidney Omar, and this is about you, Gemini, born from May 21st to June 20th. You were born under the third zodiacal sign, associated with the planet Mercury. Gemini is an air sign, features the intellect, intellectual curiosity, the desire to communicate, to report, to make known your presence. You are restless and charming. You have a way of getting what you go after and a way of arousing interest. You know, Gemini, some call you a gold digger. But on the constructive side, you actually dig for information rather than money. You love change, travel, variety. You are a natural teacher, reporter, photographer. You want to be part of your time and to make others know what kind of time it is. Because you are interesting, you are also considered controversial. You see, Gemini, you're versatile, often trying to do too much at one time. Many consider you exasperating because you seldom give us a minute's rest. Gemini is associated with the hands and arms. You gesticulate. You need an outlet for expression in the manner that many require strong drink. You are, Gemini, vivacious, filled with nervous energy, and capable of doing almost anything at any time. And it's not unlikely that you do attempt to do too many things at the same time, which means you must be on the alert against scattering your forces, of spreading your efforts too thin. You are capable of loving more than one person at a time. You fall in and out of love. Many say you are simply immoral. You, however, consider yourself straight-laced in that you usually act only according to the way you truly feel at the time. You equate justice with love, for Libra is on the cusp of your fifth house, that sector of the solar chart having to do with sex, amusement, games of chance, romance, and the physical expression of love. Now, about Gemini women, I have written this. If you are not careful, she is liable to grow on you. You acquire a taste for her, just as some people do for lima beans or buttermilk or spinach or grits and eggs. She can be charming, seductive, and on occasion even reasonable. Gemini men are versatile, possess plenty of energy, much curiosity about life, and particularly about women. Gemini men expect their women to be cheerful. Gemini men are depressed by depression. Complaining or nagging is one sure way to lose a Gemini man. The Gemini man can be deceptive in that they probe, trying to find out what you're really made of, testing your sincerity. When forced to face practical issues, the Gemini man can become downcast, bewildered, and give the impression of being hurt. Gemini is a mutable, airy sign, and its chief characteristic is exuberance. You have a way, Gemini, of generating enthusiasm. A party seldom remains dull when you're around. People tell anecdotes about you. They gossip with and about you. They are curious about where you've been and where you're going next. You are so good at commanding attention that you would make an excellent salesperson as well as a writer, teacher, or reporter. You're on the move, both mentally and physically. You're filled with qualities of expressiveness. This is fine on the positive side, but Gemini, once the fine line is passed, the nervous energy becomes mere nervousness. The exuberance becomes a lack of discipline, to a point where you tend to be uncertain, choosing this course, this person, then another and another. Listen, Gemini, you have to learn what it is you really want, really desire. You are versatile, but unless controlled, the versatility could turn into confusion. You do so many things well, but it is difficult for you to concentrate on one project. You think you know what you want, but you also want to try a few more things. Is it any wonder, Gemini, that many of us do find you exasperating? That's true even when we love you, or perhaps even more so when we do love you. As a matter of fact, Gemini, I have stated in my book, Astrology, Its Role in Your Life, that you often cause those who love you to suffer because you demand attention, yet once it is obtained, you lose interest. The grass, when you respond to your negative side, always appears greener elsewhere. Listen, Gemini, it seems necessary for you to learn by experience. You sometimes have to go through hell to find out how really hot it is down there. You have to be burned before you fear the fire or respect its power. Now let's get to the positive side of your very provocative zodiacal sign, which incidentally boasts many celebrities, including Judy Garland, Robert Cummings, who's quite an astrology student himself, and the vivacious Rosalind Russell. Now, on the positive side, you are witty, charming, a brilliant conversationalist. Your mental clarity, your power of reasoning is something to admire, to envy, when you respond to your best side. Often you attract the envy of others, and perhaps this accounts for your double nature. You see, in your life you seem to have more friends when adversity strikes. When you succeed, when you find emotional stability, then for some odd reason you attract envy, the bitterness, the ridicule of others. And, wanting to be wanted, to be admired and loved, you often pull your punches, you deliberately fail or trip yourself up emotionally. This is because you sense that when down and out, you will arouse sympathy, even love. So, Gemini, we do have a dilemma. When you are crowned by success, there is the twin of jealousy on the part of others. When in trouble, on the other hand, you seem to attract warmth. Well, we can see you are a complicated and complex individual. You often are not sure of what you want or need, what must be kept and what discarded. You make numerous resolutions, Gemini, only to break them. You make promises to yourself only to feel guilty because they are not kept. You insist on discovering for yourself the truth or falseness of beliefs. You want to be in the thick of things. You want to be there in person, checking and taking notes, and then letting us all in on it through your eyes, through your emotions, perhaps through your camera. We love you, and yet we are puzzled by you. At times, Gemini, I think you expect too much of us, and we expect too much from you. One of the great astrology teachers and authors, the late Grant Louis, once said this about you: "It is always with Gemini as he sees it. He will give the other fellow the right to see it differently without feeling any obligation to agree with him, and he will go his way according to his own bent with the utmost disregard for differences of opinion." I completely agree with Grant Louis. You are a nonconformist, Gemini. You instigate curiosity and controversy. You debate on the side of unpopular causes and people. You can do so many things that very often you are forced to slow down due to nervous exhaustion. Travel is important for you. You could meet your future mate while away from home, in the sense that you are on a journey or a long-distance visit. Now, here are some additional tips for men about Gemini women. You must have a sense of humor. Without it, you may as well give up. If you are going to pursue or be pursued by a Gemini woman, you simply must know how to laugh. This lady, born under Gemini, is on the go. She wants to know and be seen, and she wants to see and ask questions, and to break the bubble of pomposity wherever she finds it. And men, sometimes she does talk too much. And here are some additional hints for women about the Gemini man. A Gemini man is elusive, quick with his hands, artistic, restless, with a tendency to try to be everywhere at once. It is best to make him believe that you are many-sided. You see, once he feels he has you figured out, once you are no longer a puzzle or a challenge, the Gemini man is apt to shrug and go on to his next love, his next adventure. The Gemini man can talk his way into and out of almost anything. Listen to him, but remain skeptical, and keep a Mona Lisa smile on your face. That definitely helps. The double nature of Gemini, man and woman, is something at which to marvel or to draw back in fear. It all depends on who's doing the looking and for what purpose. The double nature means, Gemini, that you can look one way and think the other. You can go in one direction and be headed somewhere else. You can be with one individual and be thinking, feeling, can be concerned with someone else. Once a relationship is over, for you it is over. The emotions have switched gear. You no longer care to know or to be bothered about how your former love feels or acts. And if you are chained down for one reason or other, when you no longer care but are forced to remain, then pity the person who does the forcing. Gemini, to put it bluntly, you can be dreadful when chained down. Listen, Gemini, you are able to read between the lines. When you are right, you are very right. But there are times when you only think or imagine there is something to be read between the lines, some hidden meaning. And at those times you are wrong, and very wrong. There is seldom any halfway. With you, Gemini, it is all the way or nothing. You have wheels turning within. You plan, think, speculate on more than one subject or person at a time. You analyze, want reasons, explanations. You are never satisfied merely that something took place. Why did it happen? That's your question. Your solar ruling planet, Mercury, symbolizes thought, communication, journeys, the interrelationship of mind and mind, the desire to know. That's Mercury, and that's you, Gemini. At times you get so filled to the brim with wanting to know that you feel in reality there is nothing you really do know. This leads to a lack of security. You become irritable, nervous, careless, exasperated. At these times you seek love, and it could be with the first person who happens along. You grasp opportunity, hold on to it. You wring it dry. You don't want to let a real chance slip by, be it in the area of love or professional endeavor. A key to greater happiness for you, Gemini, is finding an outlet for your intellectual energy. Your needs are not going to be fulfilled by physical love alone. There must be communication. There must be challenge to improve yourself, your lover, your situation, condition, appearance. Once the challenge, the outlet is removed, there returns the same old nagging restlessness, the same problems. It is essential that you constantly seek self-improvement, whether it be through the theater, via theatrical productions in which you engage, whether it be through university extension courses, or through exciting individuals or books or any other means of improvement or study. Listen, Gemini, you simply cannot sit still mentally. When you do, the steam builds into an emotional explosion. Gemini, as we say, is associated with the hands and arms, and also with the lungs. Gemini persons are nervous, sensitive, drawn to the arts, the creative processes. As a Gemini, you teach, write, report, appear before the public. You are open to various impressions, tend to become dedicated to a person or a task, and you remain so until your interest is suddenly diverted and you become just as dedicated to the next project or person. Many persons think they know the real you, but a survey, Gemini, would very likely show that each person has a different picture, a different description, a different concept of you. And if the truth be known, you are different according to the occasion, the person, the situation. You are multi-sided, never the same, always on the go, changing, versatile, and restless. You are not easy to know because, in a way, you are so many persons rolled into one. Listen, Gemini, keep yourself busy. Do everything possible to keep active, to continue to learn. Read, write, study, engage in creative hobbies. Finish what you start. Don't leave so many loose ends. Work left unfinished becomes for you like a jigsaw puzzle. Piecing together the bits becomes almost impossible, causes worry, brooding, depression. And when you find yourself without a program, you begin to get curious about other people. You become, instead of busy, a busybody. You start advising, sermonizing, taking action behind the scenes. This can create resentment and eventually cost you friends and even leave you open for cruel satire or ridicule. You have a tendency to talk about subjects which interest you, and you find many willing listeners. You could be a success on the lecture platform. You like to write your own lines, and if an actor, you often try to rewrite the script. At times you talk like an authority without really having a thorough knowledge of your subject. Your enthusiasm gets the best of you. You get carried away. It is important, Gemini, for you to recognize your own limitations. Learn to listen. Learn your lessons. At times, Gemini, you take only a few lessons, and before we know it, you are attempting to teach the teacher. You tend to be high-strung, very sensitive. You expect others to almost magically feel that you do know what you're doing. In other words, you expect others to have faith in you. But it is also necessary to win respect, to gain faith, to earn recognition. It is not enough, Gemini, to merely expect these things. Don't take persons or situations for granted. Learn to avoid superficial judgments, actions. It is not easy for others to know you. It is not easy for you to know yourself. You have been different at different stages of your life, more so than the average individual. Avoid dissipating your energies, your time, your emotions. Avoid excess in various departments of life. You see, Gemini, you tend to invite trouble through members of the opposite sex. You create the impression of, I don't care. Well, nothing, of course, could be further from the truth, because you do very much care. And you want others to perceive your sensitiveness. You want others to care, to know, to understand you, to want to understand you. But your actions and statements at times cry out in the opposite direction. You become involved. You complicate your relationships. You feel somehow everything will be all right in the end, that he or she really will understand. But Gemini, how about giving us a clue? How about making it easier for all of us to understand by first understanding yourself? Hold fast to your integrity, but do make some concessions to all of us. Slow down so that we have a better chance to read you. Once we do know, you can be assured that we do care and love. Value yourself, Gemini. Don't give yourself away, not to lovers, not to children, not to a job, not to anything. Be of value, not cheap. Not something which can be passed on from hand to hand, job to job, child to child, situation to situation. Value yourself, and by so doing, you set in motion dynamic forces which change your life from night to day, from darkness to light, from a sputtering spark to a warm flame burning with life and love. Give yourself half a chance, Gemini, and you'll emerge a mature, happy, prosperous individual. Now get going. Start now. Numbers associated with Gemini are 5, 9, and 3. Gems of Gemini are beryl and aquamarine. The Gemini color is yellow, and the metal is quicksilver. This is Sidney Omar, and this is about you, Gemini, born from May 21st to June 20th, in relation to the other signs of the zodiac. In association with another Gemini, you are made doubly restless. You seek new experiences, adventures. You are likely to seek a different job, residence, or environment. Gemini is considered favorable in relation to Aries, Leo, Libra, and Aquarius. But Gemini is not favorably aspected to Pisces, Virgo, or Sagittarius. Your sign, Gemini, is considered neutral where Cancer, Taurus, Scorpio, and Capricorn are concerned. With persons born under Cancer, you have a tendency to try many things, to experiment, but also to come up with money-making ideas. Cancer individuals are favorable for you where financial questions are concerned. Cancer has a tendency to make you laugh, to inspire you to greater heights. Now listen, Gemini, Cancer provides a needed settling influence, but generally Cancer stimulates you to think. Whether or not you act on those thoughts or ideas is up to you. I would say that, generally speaking, Cancer is good for you in a social sense. You make valuable contacts, but the relationship might not be a lasting one. Cancer starts out important to you, but then Cancer tends to introduce you to ideas and persons which cause you to grow away from Cancer. So, Gemini, you always have fond thoughts, memories of Cancer, but unless you make a special effort, this relationship tends to evaporate by mutual consent. Aries individuals affect that section of the Gemini chart related to hopes, wishes, friendships. You are attracted to Aries. The attraction can grow into love. Listen, Gemini, you might start out playing games with the fire sign Aries, but don't play with fire if you are not prepared to get burned. The relationship here can be favorable if you are prepared for the consequences. Those consequences include a lasting relationship, physical attraction, a linking of hopes and desires. Many of your friends are Aries natives. Together, the Aries and Gemini create adventure, travel opportunities. Your creative urges are accented. Now, Gemini, you love change, adventure, travel. With Aries, you could find the perfect companion or mate, but you both tend to tire each other. Realize, Gemini, that Aries does like to lead the way, and you have some ideas of your own. You tend to be experimental, and you don't take kindly to regimentation. You have a lot to learn from Aries, but in the process, you could be rubbed the wrong way. Expect a fascinating relationship, but the road is not smooth. You will have to arrive at an understanding. Otherwise, much of your energy will be spent in arguing, in conflict. Generally, Aries is favorable for you, Gemini. Your interests are heightened. You read, you write, you express opinions, you travel. Very exciting if you first decide that Aries is going to be the boss no matter what. Taurus individuals make you aware of your fears. Taurus tantalizes you because you find it difficult to understand the true Taurian. Listen, Gemini, you can make this a successful relationship if you rise above petty complaints. Taurus inspires you to see a project as a whole, not in bits and pieces. If willing to share knowledge, to learn and to teach, then this becomes a profitable association. Taurus persons affect that part of your chart related to the unseen, the unexpected, the hidden, the mysteries of life. Taurus also encourages you to join organizations, clubs, groups. Taurus encourages you to enter institutions of higher learning. For some reason, Gemini, you are attracted to and also have apprehensions concerning the Taurus person. Taurus shakes the skeletons in your closet. Secrets are revealed. You learn to live with the facts of your life. Taurus stands fast and encourages you to unburden yourself of problems. Gemini and Taurus, of course, are neighbors of the zodiac, side by side, but both signs exhibit almost opposite qualities. Perhaps, Gemini, that's why you are fascinated by Taurus. While you are restless, Taurus is fixed in nature. While you are on the move, Taurus very often is adverse to change. There is a tendency for you to become bogged down in this relationship. Unless you are willing to make some major concessions, such an association does represent problems. But you're no stranger to trouble, Gemini, and Taurus could help settle you, could bring you a needed element of stability, could settle your life, perhaps for the better. Leo persons fit into your general scheme. You are attracted to Leo. You are mentally stimulated by Leo, and you would like to settle down and make a life with Leo. But Gemini, Leo can be very elusive. Very often, Gemini and Leo get together to learn lessons from each other. Leo sets a fast pace, and Gemini, for once, you are willing to slow down. But alas, Leo is just getting started. The two signs are compatible. A sense of humor prevails in this relationship. Lots of laughs, but laughter can become shrill and turn to tears. Unless you are willing to keep up, to read, to write, to travel, to make changes, then the harmony that prevails at the beginning could turn sour. Leo individuals inspire you, give you ideas, make you want to give of yourself. Many of your contacts, your romances, are associated with Leo. Domestic conditions center around your relationship with Leo. There is talk of residence, marriage. You find, to a degree, peace and harmony with Leo. But listen, Gemini, the chief result of this relationship is mental stimulation for you. Ideas are plentiful, but Leo tends to discipline you. Leo encourages you to be discriminating, to choose the best of the many plans, schemes, ideas, possibilities. Whether or not the Gemini-Leo relationship lasts, it does provide fireworks and plenty of heat. But ideally, Gemini, you require warmth, and whether or not the heat will ultimately generate warmth is up to you. In connection with Virgo, these persons tend to restrict you. They bring home an awareness of your responsibility and make you security conscious. Virgo and Gemini share the same so-called ruling planet, which is Mercury. Now combined, this produces a relationship which smacks of me first. When you talk to Virgo, you don't listen. Instead, you half listen while planning your answer or retort. Virgo affects that part of your chart connected with home environment, stability, and property. Virgo tends to correct you and slow you down. When done in a constructive, sympathetic manner, this is all to the good. The key, Gemini, is to choose a mature Virgo. Otherwise, there is conflict, even combat. You may never have been especially noted for choosing the right persons, but when dealing with Virgo, realize that the long-range projects could be at stake, as well as your future and such material things as property and home. When you play with Virgo, you are playing for high sums, and you had better not enter the game in the first place unless you are familiar with the rules, the regulations, and the possible consequences. Gemini and Virgo are drawn together by circumstances, by mutual interests affecting the security of both. Listen, Gemini, you do have lessons to learn from Virgo, but be sure you are ready before enrolling in the class. You relate to Libra in an exciting, creative sense. The two signs, Gemini and Libra, are trined or compatible. You are aroused physically by Libra, the area of your solar horoscope associated with love, sex, affection, courtship, and self-expression is touched by Libra. The Gemini-Libra combination equals Mercury and Venus, and the two signs together can make profound music. Plainly, this is no relationship that can be laughed off, tampered with, or taken as a lark. If not serious, Gemini, then don't become involved with Libra. The stakes are too high, including children, affection, the very heartbeat of your being. You see, Gemini, this is not the kind of association which you can turn on or off. Once on, the light burns brightly. Once on, the heat generated leads on to complications, to involvement. What we should say, perhaps, is that if you don't intend to get involved, don't start with Libra in the first place. I think the two signs combine well. And listen, Gemini, you learn from Libra. You learn lessons of dedication and love. You learn to give, to exchange, and to receive graciously. Very important to adhere to principles. Once you let down, the relationship suffers. The higher you set your sights, the better for both you and Libra. Your wonderful teaching and reporting qualities are stimulated by this relationship. Your creative resources are brought forward. In all, a very good combination is Gemini and Libra. With Scorpio, you are intrigued, but the relationship can be a trying one. You tend to finish before you start, to envision such great projects that you are tired before you actually get going. With Scorpio, you work. You try to break through, but find yourself in a kind of maze. You run hither and yon, which is familiar to the Gemini nature. Scorpio touches that part of your chart associated with service, pets, employees, general health, and jobs as differentiated from position or career. The Scorpio individual makes you aware of health and work resolutions and regulations. In connection with Scorpio, you become the person who helps, who aids those with problems. Usually, Gemini, it is you who confide in others, but Scorpio confides in you, and before you know it, you have promised to tackle a project. You begin working, and then you begin to rebel. This is not an easy relationship because it might lack some of the excitement Gemini craves. But it is a steadying influence, and you can gain from it, Gemini. But you have to be patient, and you must be dedicated. Scorpio makes you finish what you start, and this in itself is good. You see, Gemini, you do your best when you know that there is nowhere to go until the current cycle is completed, the job finished. With Scorpio, you get down to the business at hand and you usually finish it. I would say every Gemini needs at least one Scorpio in his life. You are attracted to Sagittarius much in the manner that opposites attract each other. Very often, the Gemini marries a Sagittarian because Sagittarius is the seventh or marriage house of Gemini. This is the sector of your solar horoscope related to contracts, legal affairs, partnerships, obligations, and public relations. Your seventh house is the way the world looks to you, and very often Sagittarians look attractive where you're concerned. You can make money with Sagittarius because you become much aware of obligations. Sagittarians encourage you to handle added responsibility. The two signs, Gemini and Sagittarius, are opposites. The aspect is an opposition, but many astrologers claim this is good for a permanent tie such as marriage. I think it is fine when Gemini is ready to settle down. The Sagittarian is idealistic, tends to procrastinate. The Gemini wants to be on the move, is active, ready to start. Sagittarius writes the novel, while Gemini is great at quick, short reports. When combined, a happy and successful medium could result. Listen, Gemini, an association with Sagittarius could be serious business. It could lead to a commitment, anything from a business contract to a partnership to marriage. Be forewarned and realize, Gemini, that Sagittarius can understand you and even put up with you. Not always easy to find this, and when you do, well, Gemini, make the most of it. Capricorn persons appeal to your sense of mystery and glamour, but money is involved and you must attend to details. You see, Gemini, Capricorn persons will not so readily understand your restless nature, and they make demands. You are capable of fulfilling these demands, but this doesn't mean you will want to do so. Not very easy for you to keep secrets from Capricorn. In a positive sense, Capricorn relieves you of burdens, helps you get to the bottom of mysteries. But in a negative sense, Capricorn merely gets under your skin. You learn about yourself through a relationship with Capricorn. You dig deep, uncover mysteries, see a side of yourself which previously was not visible. Capricorn encourages you to seek investment opportunities. Capricorn can teach you to invest in your own talents. You gain through this association, Gemini, if willing to bear down, if you mean business. Capricorn will see through any halfway methods or half-hearted attempts. The keynote is money, responsibility, and hidden assets. This may not be the most romantic combination, but there is drive here, and certainly there is attraction. Capricorn helps you get started, could be instrumental in providing a greater degree of financial security. Listen, Gemini, if you need balance, if you desire a sense of well-being, then you have found the right individual in Capricorn. With Aquarius, you tend to be restless, almost as if you were associating with another Gemini. Aquarius touches that part of your solar horoscope related to journeys, mental activity, publishing, writing, ability to reach out and stretch above your environment. Aquarius persons stimulate you to learn, cause you to be dissatisfied with the status quo. The Uranus of Aquarius and your Mercury add up to a finalizing of desires. You see, Aquarius leads you, always promising more, until you become rather exhausted from following and anticipating. Uranus and Mercury equal Gemini and Aquarius, which in turn point to a kind of mental acrobatics. Now, Gemini, you certainly will meet your match in Aquarius if you are seeking to be far out, if you want to be on the move, to travel, to learn, to report, and to record your findings. You see, Gemini, Aquarius gets you going, stimulates you. and then may have exchange of heart, exchange of mind. Aquarius could represent somewhat of a burden for you. Such an association means responsibility, but not necessarily any financial reward. Aquarius gets you interested in causes. You campaign and expend nervous energy. But Gemini, when it's all over, you may ask yourself, what do I have to show for it? If it's excitement you seek, and a better understanding of the world in which you live, then don't hesitate to tie up with Aquarius. But if it's profit that's your motive, it's best to look elsewhere. Pisces, your career is affected. Pisces individuals project to that part of your chart related to ambition, goals, profession, attainment, business, and your status symbol. There is apt to be a scattering of forces here, and perhaps some deception. Pisces appears deceptively soft, and Gemini, you are apt to be taken in, at least to some extent. If you think you're going to really get away with anything, think again. Pisces only appears to be unknowing. Actually, Pisces, when you as a Gemini tie up with him or her, is apt to be a pusher, to want to know, what did you do for yourself today? What did you do for us? What did you do for me? Pisces tends to discipline you, and you, Gemini, are not easy to discipline. Pisces doesn't particularly like to discipline anyone, but oddly enough, when Pisces and Gemini get together, both signs undergo basic changes. You both have something to learn from each other, but the lessons may not all be pleasant. Know this, Gemini, and be forewarned. Generally, this can be an exciting experience. Pisces is very good for you, Gemini, if embarking upon a career or business for yourself. Then you learn and gain. But if you're just out for a lark, you could get your wings clipped.